Hello everyone, and welcome to Marvelous Crafts Designs. My name is Marvis, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some Valentine's Day decor pieces, which I feel like can be displayed throughout the year. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Let's get into these DIYs. For DIY number 1, I am looking for a heart pattern, which I found one on my tablet, and I'm just going to trace it on a piece of paper with a pencil. I love these big pencils. I get them from Dollar Tree all the time. I have to have them for my kids, but I love to use them for crafting. So I'm going to just cut out the heart shape that I picked. And I have some fabric that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. And we're going to use the heart, I guess I made a stencil or a pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and just use some of the Scotch tape and just tape it down. This is a little hack for you. I couldn't find my straight pins. Otherwise, I would have pinned it to the fabric. I'm not a sewer, but I do like to use a pattern when I'm trying to make different things. And I just found that the tape just works as a little hack. So once I get my pieces cut out, I'm going to take 2 of those pieces and I'm going to glue them together. And I'm using the Surebonder fabric glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue around the edges here. And I made sure to leave a small little opening because we're going to be stuffing the fabric hearts. I did flip these around because I wanted to kind of hide the seam, but as I was doing that, it kind of misshapen the heart a little bit, but I just kind of went with this one, and I'm just going to fluff it out as best as I can to kind of get it back into the heart shape. And once I have that the way I wish, I took some polyfill that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to sprinkle it with some lavender essential oils. And what we're making here is we're making little bowl fillers, but I figured that to make it a little functional, if you sprinkle it with your favorite essential oil, it gives a nice little scent throughout the room that you're going to display it in. Or you can use it as like one of those little satchel things that you put into your drawer to make your clothes smell fresh over time. So that's why I feel like this decor piece can function throughout the year. And you can pick any pattern that you like. You can even do any other designs that you like as well. And just to kind of give that heart shape a little bit more shape and to decorate this a little bit more, I came in with this lace ribbon that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to go around the heart and outline it there. And again, once again, I'm just using that same fabric glue, hot glue that I got from Surebonder, and I'm just using a little detailed hot gun. I can't remember what I wanted to call it, and I just went around the heart there. So for the next one, I'm doing the same process. I'm just going to hot glue the ends together with the 2 pieces there, and again, leaving that area so I can stuff it. But I decided not to turn this one inside out, and you can see the difference. It really held up the shape of the heart, and it gave us a nice little shape from the pattern that we traced from that photo that I just got that off of Google. I just Googled an image, so that's a nice way to get a free pattern. And I ended up making a total of 4, and I had a red fabric without the stripe that I also used. And I just displayed these in a little basket here. And you can have this decor piece anywhere throughout your house. And I just love it. I think there's a cute little touch for Valentine's Day or just as decor pieces. Now for DIY number 2, I had one of these, I guess it's a piece of coral. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, from Dollar Tree. And then I had these little hearts that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. And I already did cut out some decals of my family's name on my Cricut. And here I'm just showing you that I use the heat transfer vinyl. I love to use this on wooden pieces, especially when you're weeding out smaller images, because it just weeds much better. You're not worried about, did I lose the dot from my eye and all those things. And then I just used my mini heat press, and I pressed the names onto the hearts here, and I pressed them for about 10 seconds or so and that's a HG Ront heat press. And then I went back in with my little coral piece, I guess that's what it is. But I'm going to make it into a tree branch. And so as you can see, I lined it up with a board that I got from Dollar Tree. And I just marked it where I wanted to cut off the extra pieces. And I'm using some tin snips. My husband got these from one of the hardware stores, and they're really nice for cutting the softer Dollar Tree wood, especially if you don't have good hand strength. Like I don't have a lot of strength in my hand, but this makes it very easy. And then I'm going to come in with my little heart decor pieces with the names, and I'm just going to align them onto my tree branch and making sure that it's the way that I want to have them displayed. And then I bring my board back in and just making sure that that is aligned as well, because we're going to glue this onto here. And I found that some of the pieces were still a little too high and they didn't sit flush on the board, so I came back in with my tin snips and we're just going to cut those down again. Then once I have everything to my desired liking, I'm going to come in with some hot glue, and I'm also going to use some wood glue. Oh, actually, I'm actually going to sand down the edges first, just to make it smoother. And I'm just using my little finger sander I purchased off of Amazon. And just now I'm going to come in with my wood glue. And I purchased this from Dollar Tree. I use this often and I feel it works very well. And then I'm going to take a paintbrush and kind of smooth that out, because that helps it to keep from seeping through once you put your piece on there. So I'm going to use the wood glue for long turn hole. And then I'm going to also use some hot glue for just an immediate hole so we can finish our project. And the thing about the hot glue, it does leave those little strands, so you just got to come through and clean those up. Then once I have everything, my branch glued on, I'm going to come back in. I'm going to glue on my hearts. And again, I'm just using a wood glue and a hot glue combination to help to glue that on. And the thing about this sign is that you'll be able to display it a couple of two different ways. You can display it horizontal or you can display it vertical. Now I'm also going to come in with my wood burning tool, and I wanted to give the tree branch some dimension and shading without necessarily staining it. So I'm just trying a different new technique. This wood burning tool I purchased off of Amazon, but I've seen this in Michael's as well. And this particular tip that I'm using is supposed to be used for shading. So I'm just going through and I'm just going, placing it on certain areas. And I'm just giving some, some definition to this, this tree branch without having to use paint. But if you don't have a wood burning tool, I'm pretty sure you can just use something to score the branch from the Dollar Tree and then come back in with like a stain or a paint to create this effect and design. But I just wanted to use a different technique to try to do that. I'm trying to, in 2024, expand my tools that I use when I'm crafting, just to give myself different looks and designs. And I'm just trying to research different things. And of course, when you're wood burning, you want to be careful about doing this in not burning yourself, and also you want to do it in a well-ventilated area. So in my craft room, I did open up the windows when I was doing this because it does give off some fumes. But anyway, after I got my design, we're just going to go through and we're going to glue on our little heart shapes, which displays my family's names. And then I felt like the board needed more, so I came in with some decor art stain in the color Walnut, and I'm just going to go around the border there, just staining that the entire piece. And then I'm going to wipe everything back with a baby wipe. Then I felt like I made it too dark, so I'm just going to distress it a little bit with a little antique white paint. And I think that brand is Folk Art. And I got this large bottle on clearance from Michael's. So, but I like the color of that paint. It's not too bright of a white. And here is our piece all finished. And again, you can display it either way, horizontal or vertical. The horizontal one shows that it's really hearts, which is great for Valentine's Day. But you can display this all year if you turn it vertically. And it just looks like the hearts are like little leaves on your trees. And it's just a simple way to show, this is my family. I love them with all my heart, but, I can display it all year. And now to DIY number 3. So I have this heart plaque that I purchased from Michael's. And here I'm just showing that I'm measuring because I'm going to cut a decal here. So you want to make sure that you measure before you cut your decals to make sure everything fits. I remove the sticker and we're going to sand off that adhesive. I'm going to come in with my wood stain again in the color Walnut, and I'm just going to stain the entire piece, the front, the back, the sides. And as I'm staining, I'm just wiping the stain back with a dry paper towel. And I love the look of stained wood pieces. I feel like they're timeless and they can last throughout the different seasons. So again, once again, I just stain everything on that piece. And then I have my decal that I have cut here for my with my Cricut. And I just use the images that I got from Cricut Design Space. And I'm just showing you here my weeding process. And this particular design is a tic-tac-toe board. I feel like this is very big for Valentine's Day, but it also can be very functional and also something you can display all year round. My kids like to play tic-tac-toe, and so I like to give them little different boards and things that they can use and play on, and it just goes with the different seasons. But again, once again, I'm going to use my heat press to adhere this. And it's the HTV Ront heat press. Of course, if you have the mini Cricut heat press, or if you have an iron, you can do the same thing. And this vinyl I got from Amazon. It was a cold peel, so you want to make sure that you let it cool down before you peel. Then I'm going to come in with these little tags that I got in a pack from Hobby Lobby, and there was X and O's, and I'm going to use this as the pieces for the tic-tac-toe board. So I just cut them up apart with my tin snips, and then I sanded down the edges of the rough areas there. And then this is our little tic-tac-toe board, and I just love it. I think it's so cute. And once again, you can use this all year round. Okay, now we have DIY number 4. And I have these little heart pieces that I got in a 3-pack from Target, I believe. I'm going to use 2 of them. And again, I'm going to stain them with my walnut stain. So I just stained every part of the front, the back, the sides, the in-betweens, to stain everything and dried them. And then we're going to come in with our Elmer's school glue, and we're going to be doing the crackling effect on these. So I put a good amount of school glue, and I use a little, I can't think of it, it's sponge, a sponge brush to apply the glue. And then I'm going to come in with my antique white paint and a paintbrush, and you just want to do even down strokes. Try not to go over the area too much because you don't want to pull up the glue. And I'm going to do this on both pieces. And then I'm just going to kind of dry brush around the sides of the piece it's kind of a messy coat paint. I wanted still some of that wood tone to shine through, but also give it some of the antique white on the sides here. And as you see, as I work on one piece, if you kind of look very closely, you can already see that school glue trying to dry, and it's giving it a slight crackle effect before we even applied our heat here. And then we're going to come in with just our heat gun and start applying heat to both of our pieces. And I just love how it creates that crackle effect. Now, the more glue that you use and the more paint that you put on, the deeper your crackle. So you just kind of have to use the amount of paint and glue depending upon how much crackling effect that you like to have on your piece. But I like to have lots of crackles, so that's what I'm doing with mine here. And then so I'm just continuing to dry that until I get the desired amount. And then I'm going to seal this, and I'm using a varnish by Waverly and a sponge brush, and I'm just going to seal my two pieces here as well. And what I'm making is some little heart-shaped coasters for my wine glasses. And I just think that these turned out so cute. And again, you can use this all year round if you like to. For DIY number 5, we are going to come in, and we have one of those other pieces from that 3-pack set that I got from Target. And I'm using some fabric Mod Podge. And I also cut off, which you can see on the side, a heart-shaped piece of fabric. And then once I laid my fabric down again, I used my heat press, and I'm just going to use that to attach it to my heart here. And then I'm going to come in with my finger sander and just sand off the edges. I like the fraying effect that using the sander gives to the fabric. And I just love the way that is. So then I want to flip over my heart, and we're going to measure, and I'm looking for the center of the heart because, as you can see, I'm using one of those little candlestick holders. I get these from Hobby Lobby. They come in a big pack, and I use them a lot. We're going to be making a little heart, a stand with our heart. The words escape me right now. What I want to call this little piece, but it's just a stand that you can put a candle on, or a display stand. My goodness, I can't even think of us too early in the morning as I do this. But once I attached everything with wood glue and hot glue for the immediate and permanent hole, I'm going to come back in and go over the fabric with some more of that fabric glue, fabric Mod Podge, and I just kind of water that down. And then I'm going to stain the rest of this piece again with that walnut stain. This is just a running theme throughout my video. I love that stain, and I have a lot of those pieces in my home. And then I'm just going to dry brush some of that antique white paint over the entire thing just to give it a little bit more rustic appeal. And then we have the cutest little display stand. You can use put a candle on, you can put it on a tier tray to display something, or if you just want to have a little stand anywhere in your home. I just think it makes the cutest little stand. And thank you all so much, and I would love to connect with you all on social media. And so you can connect with me on Facebook on Marvelous Crafts Designs, or Instagram at Marvelous Craft Designs. On to DIY number 6. Now this one gave me a run for my money. I'm using one of these cutting boards I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm showing you because it's supposed to be food safe. I cut out a decal on my Cricut, and I'm going to use some of this scorch paste. Now I had a time getting this decal to stick. I guess it's because it has the coating on the cutting board. I don't know what it was, but what I'm doing now is I'm just going to use a squeegee and to apply the scorch paste onto my decal there. And then you have to use a heavy duty heat gun. And as you can see, you can kind of see an outline of the words from the actual stencil that I used. And what I did is I apparently did not cover the S and the E in the word secret. So I'm completely missing that portion. So I had to do this project again. So I just kind of flipped over the cutting board, and I cut out another decal, and once again it still did not stick. And I thought, well, maybe if I sand it down it would stick better, but it just still would not. I ended up using washi tape to kind of tape it down. So I'm just kind of showing you this is a process I struggled through. But once again, I went in with the scorch paste, and you just use a little squeegee and you apply it over top of your stencil. And once I remove it, as you can see, I got the S and the E in secret this time. And I'm just coming back through and just weeding out those little pieces that were left over, like from the G's and the E's and the spaces in between, and just weeding all of those out. And then you have to use your heat gun again. And you cannot use the drying tool. You have to use a heavy duty heat gun for this scorch paste to work. And I purchased the heat gun off of Amazon, as well as the scorch paste, which I will link those in the description box. But I still like the concept of this project, even though it gave me a little bit of a hard time, because I feel like a cutting board is something that you can use all year round. And I just picked a saying that would go for Valentine's Day and also for all year round. And then so once I heated it to the proper temperature, you'll see that came through very nicely. I did heat some areas a little darker than others, and I just came through and sanded it a little bit. And then I have a salve that I purchased off of Amazon that's supposed to be for cutting boards, and I just used that in order to clean it up and also to do a little protection. And I just think this is the most adorable little cutting board for Valentine's Day. And you can use a little charcuterie board, and I pair that with the coasters I have for my wine glasses. And it's something you can use all years round, just not for Valentine's Day. Now on to DIY number 7. I have one of these boards that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I love that wood grain, that darker wood tone. It kind of reminds me of my walnut stain that I always use. But anyway, I cut out a decal with my Cricut. I just grabbed an image from Cricut Design Space, and I'm using some permanent vinyl, and it's in a gold tone. And when I first revealed this, I kind of thought, ooh, I could just kind of leave this, and I like that. But I wanted to continue with the idea that I had in my head, so I'm just going to tape off the borders here, because we're going to be painting this. And I bring in my antique white paint again, and we're going to paint the entire board and even over the decal, because we're going to be doing a reverse weeding technique for this project. So I paint the entire thing, and I think it took me about 2 or 3 coats. And I'm just going to dry that with my heat gun. Then once everything is dry, I'm going to come in with my weeding tool, and we're going to begin to do the reverse weeding. And I just love the undertone of that wood underneath the white background. And so I'm just showing you that I'm weeding the entire thing here. I love the weeding process as well. I wish that I would have did what I usually do, which is put some Mod Podge down over my decal before I paint, because that just helps with the crispness of the stenciling and the lettering. You'll see, for the most part, it did okay. I didn't have much bleeding, but you'll see once I get to the end here that I did have a little bleeding there. But I feel like it just kind of adds a little bit of rustic charm to this piece as well. So you can see there on the end of the T, I have a little bleeding underneath there. So I removed my washi tape, and then I'm going to just come through and clean up those areas where I needed to add that white paint where it was missed or covered by the washi tape. I'm not going to paint the border of this because I like that natural wood tone, but feel free to do that if you like. And then I'm coming in with these little heart wood pieces that I have from the Dollar Tree. One I just pulled off of another piece. And I thought I was going to use both of them, so I'm going to stain both of them with my my walnut wood stain. And then I'm just kind of figuring out placement. And ultimately, I decided that I'm just going to use the little smaller heart. But you tell me down in the comments, which one would you use, the lattice heart or just the smallet heart? And I just love the way that this piece turned out. And again, this is something that you can display all year round. It doesn't have to just be for Valentine's Day. And I have this displayed on a little shelf in my bedroom, and I just love it. And I actually displayed it with my little tree branch with my family's name on it. And now to DIY number 8. I have this little metal heart piece. Well, it's a wooden heart with a metal outline that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. It was just in my stash. But we're gonna remove the galvanized heart from off the back there. And then I have this rub-on transfer that I purchased from. It's been a while since I seen this rub-on transfer, but they're so hit or miss, but sometimes they have really good rub-on transfers. But anyway, we're just going to take our heart and we're going to trace it, trace the rub-on transfers, and so it matches up with our heart piece there. And then we're going to just go ahead and take that and apply it to the wooden heart. And I'm using a little rub-on transfer, I guess, stick that came in a different pack. But you can use just a popsicle stick, or you can use your Cricut scraper. But when you're doing applying the rub-on transfer, the trick is to, as you release the transfer, kind of pull up gently to make sure all the pieces are on your desired project. Otherwise, you could miss areas. And then I just sanded around off the excess. And then I'm going to come in with some Mod Podge, and we're just going to use that to help to seal everything in. And then we're going to dry our Mod Podge. And then I thought I wanted to add another embellishment, but again, I just decided to go ahead and leave that. But I am going to distress this piece with my Distress Oxide ink. I'm just going to distress the edges. And I just love the look of this. And this is a very simple but very cute project. And it's perfect for tier trays or just as a little display. And I feel like you can keep that up all year. And now on to DIY number 9. I have this little frame that I purchased from, believe I've gotten this one from Michael's, but I've seen these in Dollar Tree recently, and they have the little slats in them. And then I have these little wood cutout pieces that I've also purchased from the Dollar Tree, and they just happen to fit perfectly on this little frame. So that was a win. And then I'm coming in with some paints. This pink, I believe, is by Deco Art. And then I had a red from Folk Art, and then I have my wood stain that I've been using. And I thought at first I'm just going to alternate the colors. I love that pink. It's kind of like it's a muted pink, kind of almost like a mauve color, so not too bright. And so when I painted the red, I was like, I'm not feeling the red, so I just decided to paint over top of that with the pink. And so we're just going to alternate with the pink and the wood stain for the rest of this project. And I'm just going to continue to paint those arrows. And then we're going to dry those with our heat gun. And then we're going to start applying that to our little stand-up frame. And I like this frame because it will stand up, so it makes it perfect for like a tier tray. And at first I used my hot glue, and again, you get those strands. And so I decided to come in with some super glue gel that I can also purchase from Dollar Tree all the time. I love that super glue gel, especially when you're working with small projects, because it has that little nice tip, which makes everything easy to apply. Then I have these little stamps that I purchased from Michael's, and I'm going to spell out the words "Be Mine." I like these little stamps because I can hold them in my hand and apply them to my project without having to use a stamp block. And it's very quick and easy to use those. And here is our project. I think it just makes the cutest little display that you can use for Valentine's Day on a tier tray. Well, thank you all so much for watching today. Please remember to like, comment, and share.